Go live.
Geeks for Geeks. Geeks for Geeks has a challenge for you, the 390 challenge. Choose what you want to learn in 2024 and aim to complete at least 90% of the course in the next 90 days. And if you do that, you get back 90% of what you paid for the course. We believe you can do that. Now all you got to do is commit to your success, commit with Geeks for Geeks. Geeks for Geeks has a challenge for you, the 390 challenge. Choose what you want to learn in 2024 and aim to complete at least 90% of the course in the next 90 days. And if you do that, you get back 90% of what you paid for the course. We believe you can do that. Now all you got to do is commit to your success, commit with Geeks for Geeks.
Hi, and welcome to Geeks for Geeks. Today, we are here for a very interesting topic, that is real life application of data structures and algorithms. Before we move forward, let us introduce ourselves. Yash Dwivedi, let's move with your introduction.
Thanks a lot, Siddharth, and very good evening to you, and belated happy Makar Sankranti to everyone as well. Okay, so Siddharth did have his dahi choda. You can tell if you had dahi choda or not, and if you agar aapne patang udai ya nahi udai. Right. So moving forward, starting off with my introduction, guys. So hi everyone, my name is Yash Dwivedi, and currently I'm working as a software development engineer at GeeksforGeeks. Besides this, I'm also a candidate master on Code Forces and a 5-star on CodeChef. Now, Siddharth, we can go with your introduction as well. Although this name needs no introduction.
Absolutely not. Hi, good evening. I'm Siddharth Hazra. Currently, I'm an SD at Geeks for Geeks. Besides that, I'm also a candidate master at Code Forces. Now, I think we can move forward with the stream itself.
Yes. So everyone, before that, you can please make sure to hit the like button and give us a +1 if everything is working fine, if we are clearly visible to you and our audio is also working fine now. So just let us know if you are excited as well by giving a +1 and hitting the like to the video so that we can start off.
Yep. So I think the audio is fine enough. Just check on your end.
Yeah.
Yep. So today we would be talking about the real life applications of DSA. Like, what should be your motivation? Like, the very first motivation to learn DSA is, for most of you, would be to crack an SD job. But what is the point, or where do we really need data structures or algorithms? Okay, like we find many memes that our life didn't involve integration and integration,
Yes.
permutation or combination.
So people say that we never use calculus in our life, right? Many
Yeah.
people will say that we never use calculus, we never used inorganic chemistry, we never used this, we never used that, we never used apart from map data structure, they never used anything, right? So is that actually true, Siddharth? That is what we are going to discuss, because we have seen a lot of YouTubers saying that they, besides map, they don't need any other data structure, but that is not true. If you will go deep down into the implementation of many databases, so B plus trees is there and red black trees are there. They are used at a lot of places. Besides this, a lot of basic and popular data structures that are there, like linked list and many others. So we'll be discussing one by one about each of them, right, Siddharth?
Yep.
So I'll be introducing the topic, and then I'll just give a brief, and then me and Siddharth will have a discussion over what, like for example, let's say if I'll talk about graphs, so I'll tell that okay, these are the things that these are the places where it is used, and then Siddharth will also tell his perspective on that. Okay, so I hope that everyone is as excited as us, right, Siddharth? So Siddharth, let us start off with the very first thing. First of all, what is the application of data structure? Why do we need data structure, or why can you tell us about that?
So the primary reason to use data structure is to store the data in such a manner that the retrieval or the storage is
But
in a very
where does this data come from on the very first site? Where does this data come from? If you'll see, the thing is that data is a new oil, right?
Yep.
So these days, data is the main thing. Data is the new oil, means basically data is generated each and every day, each and every minute, each and every second on every platform, right? If you are scrolling on a website, if you're using Instagram, WhatsApp, or whichever app you're using, a lot of data is being generated, and companies need to store that data efficiently. They need to delete some data, they need to access that data efficiently, and you also need to do that, right? So that's why what happens is you have a lot of data structures obviously we what we learn is not what real industry does, right? But it teaches us a little bit of basics, that how we what are the data structures when we want something last in first out, then what we can use and all those things. So that is why data structures are important, because there are various data structures which show that in how many different ways you can store a data and how you can retrieve easily, how you can get something faster and all. Yeah.
Access, access of the data, or the retrieval of the data,
Or the
storage
deletion.
of the data, and optimization of manipulation of the data. Okay, these all matters a lot. So let's say if you're trying to find a, let's say you have a very big website to store the, like it is, I can say, a movie. Okay, a movie website where each use, like Netflix, let's talk about Netflix. So each user would be logging his or her name with his username and password. Then if they enters their username or password, they need to have it in a very fast manner. Like they can't enter their username and password and they can't wait for very long duration of time. That should be very optimal. The storage should be optimal, so that after clicking on the confirm button, the loader runs for a very short span of time. These things do matter a lot. Like we're talking about the industrial perspective, the audience retention time is very important. So
Okay.
let's start with a very basic one. Like let's talk about a simple array.
Array. So if you will talk about array, before array, I will also talk like let's talk about something more simple than array, and which
Okay.
is also kind of an array, only strings, right?
Yep.
So if you talk about strings, so strings is also used a lot in the industry, right? For example, if you are doing what, spam detection, right? So whenever you are detecting spam emails, right, or spam messages, their strings are used, right?
Okay.
Apart from that, if you will see, whenever we give any contest, right, so after the contest is over, the companies do what they do, plagiarism checking, right? So
Okay.
they check whether plagiarism is there or not. So then also string is used, right? String data structure is being used behind. And then if you see search engines, right, so whenever you write something on your search bar, right, so then what happens, the search bar or the search engine, whichever is there, it will decompose your word into tokens, right? Even if you're writing something into chat gpt, it will decompose your sentence into tokens, and then it will give you a result based on that. So that also is a implementation of strings. Then as we have already discussed sometimes, that whenever you are writing something, right, on a platform, let's say you are searching something on Amazon, so you will search for, let's say, something like jacket, and then it will write jacket under something, jackets by some so and so brands, right? So this is auto search, so that auto suggests basically, so that is also based on strings. Then spelling checker, right? So spelling checker is a very big functionality. If you'll see, on many extensions are there and many other things are there which do spelling corrections for you, right? So that is also based on strings. Then apart from this, in databases, if you have to check information is valid or not, that is also based on strings. So these are some of the very uh, basic yet very very important places where strings are used. Siddharth, what's your perspective?
To be honest, if you talk about the auto search functionality or the jackets under 250, jackets for men, jackets for women, if you talk about this is not primarily string. It is
Try data
try
structure.
data
Yeah, but we will
structure.
come to that now. Like
Yep.
obviously, when you have a very specific requirement, so string can do that. But you when you have to optimize it more, then it will come into try data structure. So
Okay.
we'll talk about that also.
One more application where string searching algorithms is used. So if you have seen, like the output generated by your code and the expected output, so it shows the differences between your output generated and expected output, the difference between both of them. So and that difference is most of the time is used by any pattern searching algorithms or stuffs. Okay, this is where strings comes heavily into picture. Okay, so let's keep it basic. We would get on to the try till the very end
Yeah.
because it is an advanced data structure. Let's keep it simple as of now. Let's move forward to the very next algorithm, which is what do you want to discuss?
The next data structure that we are thinking to discuss is linked list, Siddharth, right? So can
Okay.
you tell me some basic examples, or can you think of some examples where linked list might be used?
Okay, so linked list
Basically, what do you understand
is,
by a linked list? You can tell us about that, and then you can think that where all linked lists might be
so
used.
there are two types of linked list. The first one is the doubly linked list, and the second one is the single linked list.
And there's a circular linked list as well.
Yep. So if you talk about doubly linked list, we can go back and forth.
Okay, so
If
you can go
back
forward
as
and you
well
can
as,
go backward.
and backward and forward is implemented in
browsers. So if you will see
undo
in
and
your,
redo.
yeah, so like basically if you have your browser, right, so if you open several tabs in like if you keep on opening several links inside, then after that if you click on the back option, right, on your browser top there's a back arrow. If you click on the back arrow, it will get you to the back page, previous page, and if you click on the forward arrow, it will send you to the next page.
Yeah.
But one more thing that is there, Siddharth, very important. If you will see your song playlist, right, if you use Spotify or Geo Savan or something like that, so you click on the next song, right, you click on the next song, it goes to the next song. You click on the previous button, it will go to the previous song, right? So that is also one of the very basic examples, right?
Yep.
Also one more thing, if you will think about a circular linked list, right, so in songs what happens is, if you have to understand, in songs what you do is when the song ends, so you what you do is, suppose you are having 10 songs, so you put them in a loop. If you don't put them in a loop, then what will happen after the 10th song, the songs might stop. But what happens is, when you put the songs in a loop, then after the 10th song, the next song will again be the first song.
Yep.
So that is a circular link list,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So these things are there. Apart from this, as I said, music is there. Then if you'll see, so paint, MS Paint and all, undo, redo, like
Yep.
those things are
The
used,
undo redo option.
right? In your social media, the feed that is there, right, that also is kind of a linked list based thing only. And whenever you are having a multiplayer game, right, so whenever you are having a multiplayer game, suppose there is player 1, player 2, so I can maybe implement it in terms of a circular linked list. Why? Because if player 1 is there, player 2 is there, so I'll connect player 1 with player 2, so player 1 will play, then next player 2, and then for player 2 the next guy I would update as player 1. Right, so player 1, then player 2, then player 1, then player 2. So if I have to alternatively give chances to a lot of players, maybe 1, 2 or 3, whatever number of players, so that also can be implemented with the help of circular linked list, Siddharth.
Okay. Yep. So let's move forward to the next data structure. Which data structure you want?
Also yeah, so the next data structure is stacks, but before that you can give us a +1, guys, if you have understood so far.
Yep. Like, how is the stream? Like quickly give us a +1, or instead of +1, quickly rate up this rating. Like give us a rating on based on 10, and if the rating is below 5, we would give.
We would like to improve ourselves. Yeah.
We would like to improve ourselves, or we can just change the direction. Fair enough. So let's have a quick review from the users, as well as quickly like the video, so that the YouTube algorithm can
reach of our video can be maximized. Reach of this unofficial reach of this unscripted podcast can be maximized, right?
Yep. So let's move forward to the next data structure. Which data structure you want to move forward?
Now I would like to move forward to the stack data structure, Siddharth. So when stack comes to your mind, right, so what all things when somebody says stack data structure, you have been teaching stacks for so much time, I guess at least you must have taught 10 times the stacks in 10 different batches, right?
Yeah.
At least which is a minimal number that I'm expecting. So can you tell me what is stack, and when you explain stack, can you tell me what all places you have seen that stack is being implemented there? Yeah.
Like, if you talk about stack gives us a quick retrieval of the last inserted element.
Yeah.
Okay, last done thing. So if we only need to do somewhere where we need to,
I'll tell you one very basic thing, right? One kind of a kind of something that everyone can relate with, right? So last in, first out. Okay, so the guy that comes in last, it goes out first. Okay, so if you'll see these days, companies are laying off, right? So companies are laying off whom? Like they are laying off freshers or whom they have hired recently, right? Companies are laying off those people whom they have hired recently. Now, last hired, first fired. Right. So this is how you can remember stacks. Last hired, first fired. So the thing is that
so not really, because few days, like yesterday, I was going through LinkedIn. I found a post that a person who was there at Google for more than 16 or 17 years, he has been laid off. So not every time this is true.
But yes, mostly when they have to lay off, so they lay off the latest joinees because they don't know much about the code bases, and also they are a liability
less dependency.
Yeah, there's less dependency on those people. Now, if you'll see, another example is your history. Okay, search history.
Yep.
If you search something, let's say if I will first of all search what? Let's say I'm searching Geeks4Geeks. Okay, then after that I am searching code forces. Okay, so what will happen in my search tab? Which will come first? Okay, code forces will come first. The last thing that you had searched, it will come first in your history tab. So that is basically stack data structure only.
Yep.
If you can relate with this fact, please give us a +1. Okay, because we are talking about the real life circumstances, right?
Yep.
Is that clear? Please give me a +1. If you see WhatsApp also, right, for that matter. So WhatsApp, what happens? The guy who has messaged last, he comes at the top. If you will see indirectly, that happens. If you don't have any other filter applied or any other pins applied, so the guy who has messaged last, the latest, okay, that appears at the top. So that is also kind of a stack. Although I'm not saying that it is exactly stack, but that you can also relate.
Yeah, but I don't think so they are using
Yeah,
stack.
they are not using stack, but yes, I'm just giving one fundamental basic advice
Yeah.
that if I had to implement a chat app, so maybe one of the solutions that I can think of is that. Okay, then if you will see your call logs, emails, right? So which email comes at the top? Like emails, you will agree with emails
Yep.
and call logs. So which email comes at the top in your Google Mail or Yahoo Mail or
The
whatever?
last
The
received.
last email that was there, it comes at the top. Okay, so that is another thing. Like suppose, like whenever if I have to apply to a recruiter, right? So what I do is I don't apply at 10 in the night or 7 in the evening. What I do is I apply 4 a.m. at 4 a.m. Why I apply at 4 a.m.? Because if I'm applying at 4 a.m., chances are that almost nobody will be applying at 4 a.m. So my message would be the last, my email would be the last, and it would appear at the top for when the recruiter will open his or her account in the morning. So my email will appear at the top. So that is another example of stacks, and that is how I use that stack thought process for applying. Yeah, so you can apply use that as well. The Check's shirt is very reluctant to agree. Okay, so I thought he's saying something about shirts, but
Oh, my name is Siddharth, man. Okay, his username is good, Salar. Like, it's a very good movie. Although you don't like, let me tell you an instance.
they want you to talk about stacks, so they like you are very much high in demand. Like they want to know why you are not speaking so much.
No, that's not true. Today, so me and Yash Dwivedi decided that Yash Dwivedi would talk more, and I would be kind of enjoying the session a bit.
Also, one more thing, Siddharth. Right, if you everyone has seen, right. So what happens is, if you must have seen this thing, Siddharth, in stacks there is a problem that is balance parenthesis, right? In stacks you have a balance parenthesis problem, and in that what happens is you balance like you check whether the given parentheses are balanced or not. If you have written code in any ID, whether it be VS Code, whether it be GFG ID or anything, so if you have applied a bracket and then you click on that bracket, it shows that correspondingly what would be the opening bracket for that. All those things, or when you open a bracket and then close it, so it closes, like if it is opened at this place, then it will get closed here only, it will not get closed here or here, right? It will get closed here only. So those things are also kind of implemented in terms of stacks only, right? They're also stack data structure.
But the thing is, the problem with stack is that it allows you to, like, if you want to, let's say stack is what, if you are stacking up things in such manner, then if you want to take out the middle element, then you need to pop out all the elements that were before. So it, like, I don't know how many of you have done a lot of competitive programming, but back in my days, stack can be replaced with vector in C++. So in the same manner, if you just talk about stacks in general, or a stack can be replaced with doubly linked list, and it would allow more features.
Yeah, I guess you're talking about vectors and all. Like in vectors, you can do v dot pop back. I agree to that. But one more thing, like in IDs that are there, you can say that they use for bracket matching, they use this thing. Also, one more thing, if you will see your YouTube history also, right? If you have if you'll see your location history or YouTube history or Google Map history, so that there also the places that you have visited the latest, they appear at the top. So that is another example of stacks. Now, Siddharth, coming to the next part. So queues, what do you understand by the queue data structures?
So let's answer the comment section. Like मुझे comment section में मजे करने ज़्यादा मजा आता है. Okay, okay. So basically this thing. So I think we should take this podcast in a very casual manner. We should talk about all the interest that a particular other coder is having. Damn, 5% charge. Yeah, extremely good. Okay.
Yeah, you can carry.
Okay, fair enough. So basically, me and Yash Dwivedi, I think we are most informal people. And why we do that? Because when in my initial days I used to learn from someone, I was also interested what he does in his spare time, what are his hobbies, how is he in personal life. So these all things we do talk about. So these all comments where you are not disrespecting someone, these are highly welcome, and मुझे बहुत मजा आता है, seriously. ओके, यश को ठंड नहीं लग रही है। नहीं ब्रो, पता नहीं, दिल्ली में काफी ज्यादा ठंड है, मुझे इस पे इसके बाद भी ठंड लग रही है, और यश को ठंड नहीं लगती है।
No, no, no. You can carry. Like as of now, you can carry forward.
ओके, बहुत ज्यादा। ओके,
It's by the way, it's very hot in our studio.
yep, inside the studio it is very hot. Okay, fair enough. Let's thank you so much, Zurab. Love from India too.
Just give us a second.
Okay, अब एक बार check
Recursion, application of recursion, you can see, right?
Okay.
So yeah, if you can hear us clearly, just give us a +1, because we have changed the audio setting. So just let us know if things are working fine for you or not, guys. Okay, can you suggest DSA? Yeah, we'll suggest that also. Just give us a second, Paul. Okay, yeah, you can hear us clearly. You can just give us a +1 and hit the like button again, and then we'll proceed further. Yeah, I guess you can. Yeah, you can hear us clearly. You can just give us a +1.
Okay, fair enough. Let's just भाई आपकी शादी हुई नहीं, यश की हो चुकी है पहले से, मैं ढूंढ रहा हूँ, आपको कोई मिले तो बताना। Okay, fair enough. Can you suggest some quality content on DSA in JavaScript? So basically, if you talk about, though we would answer this, just bookmark this. Bookmark this. We would answer this towards the end. Okay, because that's not the objective of this. Okay.
So, yeah, if you will see going forward to that, so talking about the queue data structure, right? So when it comes to queue data structure, so queue is what? First in, first out, right? If you go to any ticketing line, okay,
Yeah.
when in the back in the days when you used to book tickets offline, so the guy who is standing first in the metro line, or who is standing first in the ticket.
Back in days, the metro didn't exist.
No, it for Delhi people it did. I guess it did mostly, but for us,
Okay.
it did. Like for Delhi people, like metro is their railway, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, and kudos to those people who travel 2 or 3 hours to Delhi, Gurgaon, and Noida, whatever. Right. We can't do that. So yeah, if you will see operating systems that is there, okay, it also uses job scheduling algorithm, and that is built on top of queue data structure.
Yep.
Okay.
So queue data structure, I would tell you a real life implementation. Have you ever observed the working of a sound box? Like, let's say four people are standing there outside of a tea shop. Like me, Yash, and two more people are standing there. At the same instance of time, he did a payment of 40 rupees, I did a payment of 30 rupees, he did a payment of 10 rupees. It does not really happen that they all collide with each other, or like my payment is lost. It does not happen. So it is all gave, like it is all pushed into a queue. If he is doing the first payment, he would be like his payment audio would be played first, then mine, then his. So every payment is kind of added to the queue, and then they are converted to audio.
Yeah. So basically, he's trying to say that network congestion that is there, na, that also is managed with the help of queues. Then in communication, data packets that are there, that is also in terms of queue. Then when emails are sent, suppose a lot of emails are sent, so they are sent in form of a queue. Okay, the first one that is sent, then the next one, then the next one, and that is how they are sent. And servers also, when the requests are sent, or when you are responding to a request. Okay, suppose there is a server, and now there are a lot of requests coming into that server.
IRCTC website, when let's say what happens is, let's say there is a particular, if you talk about the system design of IRCTC, what happens is there is a particular amount of tickets, like 5 tickets. Okay, like he is requesting at the same point of instance, that person is also requesting at the same point of instance, so they would be prioritized in a queue. So after first he would be prioritized, then he would be checked if his payment fails or something happens, then after that the next person would be prioritized. So all are added to a queue. Would complete, and then this would complete. So multi-threading is also involved in this, but not single threading. In single threading, queue would be there, multi-threading is also, so multiple queues would exist. So queue has the maximum utilization in real life, I think so.
Yeah, if you will see in terms of internet, right? On the internet, the requests and the processes that are there, most of the times they are implemented, or they are thought about in terms of queues only. Obviously the implementations of the queue might be manipulated a bit as per the requirement. They might use some priority queue also or some other things, but mostly it is like that only. And if you'll see, for example, escalators that are there, or in general lifts that are there, right? So the low level design of lifts, or the designing of lift, the coding of lift that is done, that is also based on first in first out, that is based on availability basically. Okay.
Okay.
So that is another thing apart from this, like CPU scheduling that is there.
Okay.
CPU scheduling is also one of those things that happens. And now talking about, like, since the queues are complete, okay, the discussion about queues, we did it for quite some time, because obviously it has a lot of, it looks like a very simple data structure, but it has a lot of real life
much more.
implementation.
Like we have talked very less about queue. It has much more. Like it would require a separate session out of this.
Yeah. Now talking about queue, so what is a priority queue, Siddharth?
So a priority queue would be that people based, like it can be kind of visualized like a VIP line.
Mhm.
A VIP line in a particular sacred place, I can say.
I will tell you one instance. Okay, so like back in the days, 10 years back, when people used to book tickets offline. So the line of men was very large, used to be very large. So people used to go with their girlfriends or their mother or their sister, because because the female lines were shorter, so the females used to stand and they used to get the ticket very fast.
Because they have higher priority. Yeah, very good example. Like the second example I would like to complete is, let's say a priority, you can just, like if you are visiting a sacred place, a person who is giving more payment would be prioritized first to visit the temple or the sacred place, and the person who is giving less money would be kind of given less priority. Like it happens in very few places, but still it happens.
Yeah, it does happen. So basically, if you will see, like, if there's an operating system, right? So operating system is very important, so in operating system also, let's suppose the kernel has to decide that there are several processes that are there inside the queue. Now it will prioritize according to certain criteria, that this process is important, or this will take lesser time. So based on that, whatever the priority is, that do the tasks that are taking lesser time, or whatever it is, right? So there also it is used a lot. Then priority queue is also applied while you are downloading files in a browser also. So while the downloading happens, they also implement some kind of priority queue in the back end. Okay.
Like if the file size is less, or if it is very more, prioritize it more. It depends on the, like it is very dynamic, of course. Now, which is next? The next, I think, so we can move forward with graphs.
Yeah, I think that we can move forward with graphs, Siddharth. So can you, before we move forward, I would request everyone to hit the like button and tell us in the chat that where do you think that graph data structures are used in real life. Okay, you can comment in the chat. We will take your comments. Maybe you might add something that we might have not thought about. Okay, so just tell us.
Okay, is it possible that someone can put a lot of request queue while Tatkal ticket? So it can't really happen, because there is a thing known as limit. Okay, so to prevent bots. Okay, like most of the website, they use bots. Okay,
if they will have a
limit.
lot of requests from a particular IP, they would block it for some time.
They would block it.
Timeout.
Yeah, they would kind of freeze it. They won't take further requests from that particular. So this would happen. So this all comes under the system design architecture. Like these are some preventive measures. Like one user, like bots, you can't have a bot attack or something. That is why slow mode is introduced in YouTube, so that you can't have a bot attack in your live stream or something. Okay. नहीं मैं आप CP में okay, my question is CP start कैसे करूं? Okay, this would be a very relevant thing, but we would kind of answer it towards the next 10 minutes. The very last one is, I think we can move forward to the graph. Okay, so the graph is whenever you check out that Uber, okay, the Uber most of the time uses the API of Maps, that is Google Map. But Google Map, what it does, it uses graph algorithms very heavily. Okay, to calculate the shortest path, to calculate the shortest distance between two paths. If you are from your direction to all other direction, that is breadth first search, and then all pair shortest path is the implementation of maps, is Floyd Warshall, that is N-cube algorithm. So If you talk about maps, all the graph algorithms would be an example of Google Maps.
So Dijkstra's algorithm that is there, right? If there are a lot of paths to go to a certain place, so companies might apply Dijkstra's algorithm to calculate which one would take lesser cost, right? Then when it comes to GPS navigation, so the shortest paths that are there, so those kind of APIs are used.
You change the category, shortest distance, shorter minimum amount that is there in maps.
If you have seen one more example, Siddharth, DOM manipulation you have seen, right? So DOM manipulation is also what? I guess it's kind of trees or graphs only, right?
Yep.
So
DOM tree.
DOM is basically like DOM that is there, or React DOM that is there. It uses graph data structures. Then apart from that, if you will see on LinkedIn, very, very basic example on LinkedIn. Have you seen 1 degree connection, 2 degree connection, 3 degree connection?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I will open his account, it will show me one. Okay. And then suppose that if I'll scroll down his profile, okay, and it will show me suggested people. So somebody who is his connection, it will show me as a 2 degree connection, right? That is my connections connection. Then after that, if I have to check something, like if suppose that I'm not connected to that guy, so that will be my third degree connection. So the degree based connection, that is also kind of a graph thing only that you can understand, guys. And then there's directed acyclic graph also, right? So MS Excel that is there, it uses the directed acyclic graph concepts. Recommendation engines that are there. So if you'll see, you get a recommendation, right? That suppose that A is the friend of B and B is the friend of C. Okay, A, B are friends and B and C are friends. Then A will get a notification that A might know C. Okay. So that is another thing where you get this thing, right? Then apart from this page ranking that is there, page ranking also uses the same.
I think we don't really need to go that deep. We gave a overview. Let's talk about the application of try and anything else that is left from your side.
I would say if you talk about trees also, right? So tree is also a very important data structure when it comes to DOM manipulation, let's say.
Folder
right?
structure.
So folder structure that is there, yeah, file structure basically. So that is also based on tree. Then the domain name system, DNS, that you must have observed, that also uses. Then in database management systems, the indexing that is done, right? It is also based on the trees. Then if you will see decision based algorithms, right, whether you have to go here or here, like those things, they are also based on trees. Then whenever you are evaluating expressions, right, so there also you use a lot of trees. Then in graphs, like whenever you have to choose moves, right, so that also is kind of a recursive tree in nature, right? So there also trees come into play. Then in Java, the JVM that is there, it also uses trees in some way or the other. Then coming to binary search trees, so binary search trees is an efficient way to search, because in that the left guys are lesser, the right guys are greater. So they are also used in graphic rendering and all those like gaming engines, right? So binary search trees are also
whenever searching a lot of item is involved, then
efficiency is involved.
Efficiency is involved in searching. We use two things, like either store that in a binary search tree, okay, if insertion is also there. If no insertions are there, we use so-called binary search, like this primary, secondary, and secondary indexing concept of DBMS. Like it uses the binary search. If you talk about, if you want insertion as well as deletion, if you want searching, insertion, deletion, then binary search tree comes into picture. Let's now talk about tries. I think so tries visualization can be done from this point. I don't think we need this. So basically, try implementation is most heavily used
in autosuggest.
Okay, where let's say I have entered Yash Dwivedi. So you are saying yes, it doesn't really go and find out all the Yash name people. So retrieval of the like-minded, or I can say liked characters, can be done very efficiently using try data structure.
Also, one more thing I would like to add, we missed one data structure, that is hash tables, right? Hash table or hash map is what? Key value pair. Can you take one example, one real life example of a database that is key value pair? Amazon DynamoDB, right? So Amazon DynamoDB, whenever on websites where there are a lot of read, okay, like for example, I would not name a lot of websites, but let's say Duolingo or some other websites are there. So wherever there are a lot of reads, okay, whenever you have to fetch the data quickly, so they use DynamoDB. Okay, that is key value pair, where you have to efficiently get something that is already stored. So there it comes into play. So those are very much real life. Obviously, there are a lot of things that lie under the hood, okay, in terms of implementation and all. But on the surface level, you can understand that if whichever website is there, which is going to have a lot of reads, okay, and you can understand a lot of what websites we are talking about as well.
So
Right.
see, the very basic thing, where to use binary search tree or binary search, when to use array and when to use hash table. I would just tell you the difference. Something, let's say you keep your keys at this drawer of your room, and you are doing this every day. So do you write it on your phone that yes, keys are kept on drawer? No, because you need it every time. So you would kind of remember it. Okay, so here you would use hash table. Now whenever I, let's say I kept my physics book in my 12th standard, and I would just retrieve the position of my physics book whenever some needy person comes in, so I would just quickly write down in my pen and paper, like pen and paper or phone, that physics book is kept on 10th drawer or 12th drawer. So whenever you need to write it on your phone, then you do it on an array. Why? Because it is used very less. Okay, but whenever the thing that is needed is very frequent, and the username passwords, or he called it Duolingo app, the data access is very frequent, then you use it hash table. Okay.
Okay,
This
for
difference.
example, there's one more. You must have seen one thing, Siddharth, right? There's one thing that is whenever you will, suppose you're creating a new ID somewhere and you will write a password there, right? So what happens is when you write a password, it says that whether your password is strong or it is weak, okay? Or when you are writing your username on Instagram, right? When you are making a new ID, you are writing a username. It says that username is already occupied. For that, there's an advanced data structure that is used, that is Bloom filters. So a lot of data structures are there that are used in real life, obviously. That is why they are being asked, because if you know about them, then you can handle the data very easily. And one of the few data structures that you'll come across every day, that is list, okay, then you can say hash map, sets. These are the data structures that you would be coming across a lot in your day-to-day software engineering jobs as well, I guess.
Okay, so now let's start this. So how to start CP, learn the basics of DSA, and start solving easy problems of, like, start how to start a CP. You can find many videos. I think that, like, this video won't do just like my comment, my reply won't do justice. I'm just giving you a way to find out the answer of this. Okay, so now the next thing, any can
You
you
can check
suggest
out
some,
the GFGCP hybrid course as well. That is
okay,
there.
can I suggest some quality content on DSA in JavaScript? If you see, DSA in JavaScript is a very minor content. If you
But
start searching.
actually, Siddharth, I would like to tell you on Geeks4Geeks, there's a course of DSA in JavaScript that is made by Sandeep sir. So
Okay.
you can explore that course, go through the syllabus and everything, and you would like just search DSA JavaScript GFG, and you'll get that course link, and a lot of written content, free written content is also there on Geeks4Geeks websites, and you can submit your problems in JavaScript also. So you'll find a lot of resources on Geeks4Geeks. Just check them out.
Okay. So this is, I got an intern after having DSA practice. Now what kind of do they need from us? I know DSA important, but still what work we do here. So I would just suggest you that kindly learn system design at this point, where you would know the usage of caching, the what do you mean by low extent inheritance, how to use polymorphism, when to do the solid principles, the dry principles. Learn all of this, because if you're doing development work, this would come into picture. So for the last week, some people are doing we can how to start CP. Okay, please consider my question. This is done. Okay. So only data science can store the data, analyze the data, retrieve the data, but we want the fast answer. That's why DSA would help to decrease the time that wherever we're.
So see, I would say one thing here. Like he's saying that we want what we want fast to organize. So he's saying that data science can store data and all. No, basically, I came across one person.
Data is everywhere, bro. Not just with data science.
Yeah, when you're working on heavily on backend, then you deal with what data, right? So submissions are coming in, or whatever is there, right?
At
Payment
this
requests
point
are
of
coming in.
industry, data is everything.
Yeah, you store data only. You deal with data only in day-to-day life, whether it is comments, whether it is some images or whatever it is all about data.
Okay, So I think that's pretty much from our side. Any notes from your side?
Before we end, right? So Siddharth, I would like to ask everyone if there is any other Q&A or any other thing that's left from there and that they think that they want to ask, they can ask, and especially they can tell us they like this new topic or not. Okay, because this is very less covered, and we discuss a lot of real life implementations as well. So you can tell us how whether you enjoyed it overall or not.
Okay. So how can I start DSA? How can I start CP? I think this is not the correct place. I think you can just go out and search. You would search me and Yash videos out there answered by us on a separate video. That would be more. Where you people work, we work at Geeks for Geeks. Okay. So as an SD and as a mentor, it's the same for both of us. Okay, so that's pretty much from my side. So if you're watching this, if you were till this point, just wait for a few minutes more. This stream would end, and then you can like the video and comment on the video, your views on the video, so the reach of this video could be increased, and this work could be justified. So that's pretty much from my side.
And make sure to commit with GFG. Make sure that you make your January count. Make sure that you're consistent in this January. Okay, and thank you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this stream. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button if you're watching the recorded version of the stream, and also make sure to share it with your friends in your groups if you like the discussion. And you can comment which topics you would like us to pick going forward after the video is over, and you can comment whether it was helpful or not. Okay, thank you for watching and have a great day ahead, and thank you guys. All the very best.
So this is me, Siddharth Hazra, and Yash Dwivedi signing off. Thank you.